Okay, good morning and welcome to Upload TV in what is an absolutely freezing cold morning in the UK. Woolly hat is on. It's a Titleist one, which is giving away a bit of a clue as to what we're going to do next, which is, and this is going to be a very quick intro because I need to get hitting golf balls because, as you can probably tell, I am cold. Titleist MB. Now, I've been raving about the other end of the spectrum, which is the AP1s. They're very much the game improvement set of irons, and now we're at very much the player's iron in this forged MB. In all honesty, I wasn't going to review this club. I just felt that, and probably do feel that it's out of the reach for most of us average golfers. Having said that, I did the Apex MB from Callaway in recent weeks. We did the 730 from TaylorMade, and obviously there's the MP18s from Mizuno, so I thought let's give Titleist a fair crack at a whip and we'll give this one a go. It's extremely shiny, it's a very nice club to look at, it's the purest iron yet again, and even going into the sort of Titleist website looking for some information to feed back to you, there really isn't any. These are stripped back clubs, they're pure as they make them. It's forged carbon steel, it's thin top line, it's thin sole plate, it's a compact club design. They talk about shot making capabilities, and as I always say, I don't really have a choice in that matter. However, there's one person, this is for David Ciccaretti. I promise you I would do this review. I got it wrong, I thought you wanted a TMB's review, which I did, and it turns out it was these things. So this one's for you, mate, and see how these things perform. Okay, so camera in the regular position, and it's pretty much all about whether or not I can feel confident to hit these things. I've changed my opinion in recent months, even over these kind of muscle back. I know them as blades, but they tend to have this MB name associated with them now, which is muscle back. I think blades scares everybody to death, but the fact of the matter is that's exactly what they are. They are very thin and compact, and like I said, you've got to be a confident iron striker, I think, before you look at the club. But I wouldn't be put off by them by any means if you fall into that category. They're certainly not as suggested, which is for the real sort of top level player, I don't think, anymore. Like I said, if you can strike a decent iron, then you can certainly consider these style of clubs nowadays, because they are certainly far easier to hit than they used to be, at least. So like I said, it's not the most compact out of all we've seen, and the top line certainly isn't the thinnest out of what we've seen either in recent weeks, so that it sits quite nice. And again, I'd liken it, for me personally, it's not off-putting because it's very similar to my Mizuno MP5s, and that's the only, if you know of those clubs or those irons, if you've seen those and not seen this Titleist as yet, that's the kind of look in terms of head size I would liken it to. Anyway, I think enough talking, and like I said, no nonsense club, and I think I should just get hitting them. On that one, first of all, the ball flight, because I haven't mentioned, it's 35 degrees worth of loft on this, so again, going back down to traditional numbers, I'll hit a few more balls, and as ever, we'll have a bit of a chat at the end. Okay, so Titleist MB, 718 MBs, what do I think? First impressions, very, very good. Yeah, and again, a little bit surprised, as I've been quite a few of these reviews. I'm becoming a manufacturer's dream, because I very rarely seem to be criticising stuff at the moment, which don't want to criticise stuff, but believe me, if it was there, I would tell you. And it's hard to be critical of these irons. Once again, they've superb feel. I like the setup. It didn't seem overly small and compact to me, and like I said, the top line not as thin as in previous models, but again, that might be just visually deceptive in the way in which the club head is in its colourings. So I don't know whether that's factually correct, but that's how it appeared, at least anyway. And it didn't put me off one bit, and that's the biggest message. That I'm going to do a video straight after this where I'm going to put 3 of the MB blade type irons in, not so much a head-to-head, but I'm going to play every one of them, maybe a few shots each, and just demonstrate that these things are not as scary as they might appear in terms of looking at. Anyway, let's stick to this Titleist MB for now. And the one impressive thing and the nice thing was the 35 degrees worth of loft on the club. Again, these traditional lofts. The ball certainly fired out there, but again, it wasn't a floaty flight for me. It was very much still a penetrating flight. It was a good launch, and again, apart from what was it the first ball I hit, which was not the best. I struck some really nice balls there. Spin number again for me was very, very good and very, very consistent. Probably taking out the first one in particular, you know, you're well over the 5,000 spin, which, like I said, for me is a good number. Carry distances again, there was a couple of bad shots in there, which, like I said, I don't want to remove those from the review, and that's why we hit a few more this morning. But you can see on the decent struck balls, that sort of in and around that 160 to 165 carry, very consistent numbers, and like I said, a good spin number to boot. But what I will say is that even with the poorer shot strikes, it wasn't disaster. There was no ricochets up the arm, which is what, like I said, I would have perhaps expected from a club of old. And the only sort of opinion I can give you that's got some relevance is I play the MP5s, which I think are probably about 2 years old now, and I think you can see the progression into these type of clubs already. And yeah, definitely better performance in these than my current MB type clubs. So all I can say is, David Chicoretti, I'm glad you requested this review, because I really, really like these. And like I said, for me personally, I'm just considering a combo set of irons. I'm not sure I'd like to try these in the 4 and 5 iron to be confident to say this, but I feel like I might want a club with a bit more assistance in those longer irons, but the shorter end of the bag, this is something that I think I'll probably end up going for, this type of club anyway, in a combination set, but that's in future videos for us to explore. Anyway, just a quick one as well, apologies about the change in sort of view on SkyTrack. And one other point to mention is that the settings were firm in terms of the you can adjust settings within SkyTrack. They were set at firm rather than normal on the first, what was it, about 4 or 5 shots, which you'll see. We're really looking at carry. Rollout is a bit irrelevant, but you'll see some longer rollout distances there, and that's because the ground being set at firm as opposed to normal conditions. And there's some changing in camera angles on the what you view, and I changed that around a few times, so apologies, I didn't quite have that set up with this kind of new look SkyTrack software. Anyway, like I said, as ever, thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you liked it, any comments down below, and yeah, that's about it, isn't it? I'll see you very soon. I'm going to keep your eye out for this next video, which is 3 of the muscle back irons in, I'm not going to call it head to head, but I'm going to try and see if I can demonstrate that these things aren't as scary as they quite look. Right, see you soon.